Here we are, it is bottling day, the final step before you get to let these babies carbonate and then enjoy. So, I'm gonna show you the process of taking our 1 gallon beer that we made and get it into bottles, how to prime the bottles so that they will carbonate, and then how to cap and do all of that. So I'm also gonna show you how an AutoSyphon works, our mise en place, so all of our gear that we have. The hero of the whole story is this here, our bucket of sanitizer. Everything that we are gonna do right now is gonna pass through this. This is our 1 gallon kit that we brewed. It is completely done fermenting and there's no airlock activity anymore. I've had it in the refrigerator just so that all of the rest of the yeast and everything would drop out. We have our AutoSyphon. So this is the tool that we're gonna put inside here to get it to go. You could use any kind of siphon. This could very well could be a 5 gallon bucket of beer with a spigot on the bottom, so you wouldn't need this because you just hook the hose up to that. But for our setup, this is what we're doing today. Bottling cane. So this guy is a pretty nifty tool. For being so simple, it makes life a lot easier. So instead of me having to start and stop a siphon for every single bottle, this has a spring-loaded tip inside it, and it just fits right inside there, the spring. So what happens is we're gonna connect this to the other end of our hose. When you, oops, it's not aligned. When you stick this down into the bottle, you push it against the base and that allows the flow to start. So you're filling from the bottom of the bottle up, and that gives it a gentle pour because oxidation is a real thing and we don't want oxygen in there as much as possible. So we're gonna have our bottle, you push it down and you just hold it there until it fills up to the top. Another fun fact is that when you pull this cane out, it displaces the perfect amount of headspace for you to then finish and cap. So, really cool tool. Carbonation drops. All these are sugar. This is, you could eat this. So what this is gonna do, we're gonna put 1 into each bottle after we've transferred our beer in, and then we're gonna cap it. That is gonna give the yeast that is still in suspension enough food, essentially, to re-ferment, and the carbon dioxide that it makes, instead of blowing off, it's going to pressurize inside the bottle. So that CO2 is gonna enter solution. That is what makes our beer fizzy. So we've talked about other carbonation methods. There's burst carbonating, there's natural carbonation, which is what this is, and that's what we're gonna do for these. Here's our bottle caps. Of course, everything that we do, these need to be sanitized as well. This is our capper. I'm gonna show you how that works. On there and crimp down. This, just for demonstration purposes, another way of natural carbonating is, there are calculators online that tell you how much sugar to put. So I would make like 1 cup of boiling water, dissolve a certain amount of sugar into it, and then pour that into the bucket of fermented beer right before bottling. So that's the same idea as these carbonation candies. But instead of candies into each bottle, you put priming sugar into the whole container. So that's what this is. We're not gonna do that on this one. Of course, here's our heroes. There's the bottles. All of these are going to be completely submerged. You run them through your dishwasher, make sure everything is clean, and then sanitize right before use. That is the key. 1 gallon of beer here will probably make 10 bottles. So here we go. We're gonna get started. Everything needs to be sanitized. crispy clean. You'll notice at the bottom of this is the sediment. That's called trub. That's yeast. That is, you know, all the particulates that came out from the grains, all of that. So where the kreuzen was, so that's the foam cap that comes up during fermentation, that left a ring up here on the top. Doesn't hurt anything, we're just gonna leave it. I wanna transfer as much clean beer as we can into these bottles. So I'm going to clip this onto the edge. Really, this cap right here allows you to rest it right on that trub. I'm gonna try and suspend it over the top of it so I don't have to worry about it. Just like that. You can see it sitting inside there. So with our bottling cane attached, oh, I need to sanitize this. What I'm actually gonna do is start the siphon. Just like that. So there's beer in the line. Normally what this would look like is you would have your bucket or jug or whatever you're using up on a counter. This line would be a little bit longer and you'd be doing it on the floor. That helps keep the siphon alive and everything just kind of flows easier. For the purpose of the video, we're kind of constrained right here. Filling up from the bottom up. All the way to the brim. Let the cane out. Sanitize the next bottle. And away we go. So I'm gonna get this rhythm down. You're gonna see us fill all 10 bottles. Okay, so we've transferred our beer into these bottles. Obviously, the main downfall of bottling is that we introduce oxygen into everything, and so the risk of oxidizing is pretty much assured. So that just reduces shelf life, but many brewers are out there making great beer that ends up bottled straight just like this. So it can be done, as long as you're gentle with it and you take the proper sanitation steps. You can do it. Now I'm gonna drop the priming sugar into each bottle and then we're gonna cap them. This whole process works a lot better if you've got 2 people. One person doing the filling and the other person doing the priming and capping. lost 2. Okay, so I'm gonna move these out of the way. I'm gonna go in order. I have knocked over bottles while doing this, so I try to keep my workplace clear. Not a lot of room right here on our set, so is what it is. The caps. Take the caps. I'm going to sanitize them and put them on the lids. So the capper is a 2-step lever action. This is a magnet that'll actually stick to that lid. You just put it right on top, crimp it down, and that holds the neck of the bottle, and then you force it. So that is forcing the outer ridge to clamp down. So now this is a fully capped bottle. I'm gonna do the rest. We are going to store these for 2 weeks at room temperature, which is going to allow the re-fermentation of the sugar, and that will carbonate them. One of the tricks that you can do to make sure that the carbonation is good is to take a regular water drinking bottle, do the exact same thing with one of the beers. Obviously with a 1-gallon kit, it kind of hurts to lose 1 out of the 8 or 10 that you're gonna get out of that batch. But for bigger batches, it's not such a big deal. You do the same bottling and priming into it, and you can kind of feel the pressure on that plastic bottle. That'll tell you, like when it's real taut, okay, I've got pressure in there. Otherwise, you just have to pop one in the fridge after 2 weeks, crack it open the next day, and taste it. If it needs more time to carbonate, you give more time, but that's what goes on. So I'm gonna finish bottling these, and then we're gonna go put them in a room temperature, non-sunlight exposed place, like, I don't know, put it in a closet and let them re-ferment and carbonate. Then you're good. Okay, so we allowed this American IPA to bottle condition for 2 weeks. I literally had it in the corner of a garage and it's springtime here, so the temperature hasn't gone below 50 or above 75. So it had more than 2 weeks of just sitting there. That sugar drop that we put into the bottom, the yeast went back to work and ate it. And so here we are. That should be well carbonated. I put it into the fridge and let it sit in there for a couple of days. That'll help with the clarity and just obviously get it cold. So we're gonna taste it and go from there. Because of what I know, I'm gonna preface this something though. Because of what I know about brewing, this was not oxygen free, so the chances of oxidation are there. We followed all the precautions on safety, sanitation, cleanliness, and all of that, so I don't think that infection is a thing to worry about. But there are just certain variables that you can't control by using the bucket method. So we'll see how it went. And here we go. Pretty good color. When you bottle condition, there's always going to be a little bit of muck down at the bottom. That's that yeast that went dormant after it's done. So there she is. It is a nice kind of golden color on there. Not really sure what the SRM was supposed to be for this recipe kit, but that's pretty consistent with an American IPA. So the smell is good. Aroma's fine. Not sensing any off flavors or anything like that. So let's go in. That's a good beer. Goes to show you, with a 1 gallon kit, a simple small 1 gallon fermenter, you can make craft beer at home. I'd feel confident taking this to a party and nobody would say boo. So there it is. Now you've seen your first full brew day with a 1 gallon kit and grained glass.